Good day, everyone. Hope everyone is well. As we continue this PC journey together, in this video today, we're going to talk about once you've gotten your PC put together, hardware, software, everything's rocking and rolling, your game's installed, and you're ready to sit down and play, the next hurdles that you face as a PC gamer. Number one. All right, tonight's going to be a good night for some gaming. We're going to knock this boss out, move on to the next section of this game. Let's show her who's the boss here. Yeah, take that. Yeah, you don't know who you messing with. Wait, no, whoa. What? Where's my hand? Why am I pressing the wrong key?
Can't you see
What's going on?
how worthless this
Oh
all is?
my God. So let's put this into perspective. If we were to spend 2 hours per day playing a game for 365 days a full year, you're looking at 730 hours of playtime with the controller in hand. For someone who plays games all the time, it's just pure muscle memory to actually use a controller thoughtlessly, especially when you lock into a game that you really love. So imagine going from a controller in which you have thousands of hours worth of playtime to a keyboard and a mouse. It was the most difficult transition, and I am still determined to master it. So here are two suggestions that I have for you to help you in your transition from console to PC gaming using a mouse and keyboard. Number one, play a game that you love, that you truly like, but is not a frustrating game. My mistake was I was in the middle of a playthrough of Lords of the Fallen, a Souls-like game. I was playing it on console. I do have Game Pass Ultimate, so that game was available on PC. So I said, hey, I'll pick up from where I was, use this as a vehicle to help me get better with mouse and keyboard, also work to finish the game. Perfect. Well, I'm starting right before a boss, which is the first era of the whole situation. Because I haven't progressed through the game naturally, I don't know where the controls are for all of my abilities. I barely know how to move, and I had to figure out even like blocking and dodging. I didn't even know how to take a potion. Like, I didn't even know how to heal myself. That first attempt, I got the health down to 25%. Thereafter, it got harder and harder because I wanted to try to actually move and block and do all the other things. And man, just so much going on within that fight, as well as me trying to control my character, made it so difficult just even making any progress in the fight. It got worse as the more times I fought the boss, the worse the outcome was. So ultimately, through pure brute force, I was able to beat the boss. At that point, I will lie not, I switched to controller. I couldn't do it. I switched to controller, and what I did was I continued parts of the game going back and forth. So if I was in the open world facing enemies that were far lower than my level, I would go to mouse and keyboard and use that as a way just for training. But when I was facing real challenges, I would go back to controller. Each game, I continued to wean myself off of controller a little bit more each time, a little bit more, till I got to the point where I was playing games strictly mouse and keyboard. Still not perfect to this day. In those frantic moments, it's very easy to lose placement of your fingers. When I'm getting to a sweaty moment, why am I not moving? Because my hands move from W to E, and I'm trying to move forward and I'm hitting E. There are a lot of little things that will cause you headache, heartache, and pain. But if you hang on, you play a game that you like, that you really enjoy, over time, it will help you to become better at mouse and keyboard. The second solution is I have a mouse that actually has 2 additional buttons near my thumb. I use those buttons for the assignments, for the skills that I find most pertinent. What I will do is, especially control. I don't know, control for me is a big issue. For some reason, that reaching to that control, a left control key, is just an annoyance. So I will often assign that skill to my mouse, and then I'll find another skill as I'm playing through what I feel like is the best thing to assign to it next, to make it easier for myself as I'm continuing to learn mouse and keyboard. So once again, number one, play a game that you love. Number 2, use the mouse key, those mouse assignments for the extra buttons that you may have on a mouse. And now we're moving on to hurdle number 2.
Upscaling, frame generation, bloom, volumetric fog, ambient occlusion, and tessellation.
And as a console gamer, do we understand any of these terms? I'm telling you, well, console things just work. The system is optimized to perform with the software that is provided. It is an all-inclusive system where you have the same performance from every box because it's the same hardware, the same software. Everything is running as one unit. So when that game is properly optimized, it works flawlessly on that system. You don't have to get into tinkering with the game because it just simply works. However, on PC, because there are so many variations, so many card combinations with motherboards and CPUs and memory limitations and other things that go along with it, oftentimes a game is developed with a wide swath of hardware in mind. And because of that, what works on one machine may not work on another. As a console gamer transitioning to PC gaming, you hear all this praise about, oh, my card makes the game look like this, and then I got the ray tracing, and I got that and this and all that stuff. And then you sit down to play your game, and it doesn't look even better than your console. I actually loaded a game the other day. I would have never thought required much of anything. I decided to try, I forget the name of the game exactly, but it is Alien something. It's an isometric game, really cool looking. I installed the game. I launched the game. I was looking at the game. It looked horrible. I couldn't figure out why could a game with such low resource needs look so poorly. I go into the settings and the game decided it needed to be on low. This game is not a resource hog. I don't understand why it chose low. So despite the fact that it decided what it thought was the best choice, I still had to go in and make the adjustment. And there is the hurdle when it comes to moving or transitioning from console to PC. It is not everything simply works. Just turn it on and get, and start playing. You will oftentimes have to go into the system and make tweaks and adjustments because that's just what's required. There's no one size fits all. And sometimes even the system makes the determination that doesn't best fit the hardware that you have. So my suggestion is to do this when it comes down to your graphic settings. First thing I would do is I would go into my graphics or visual settings. Most games offer 3 to 5 presets that will allow you to make an easy selection from low to ultra to help make a determination on what works best for your system. Simply select one of those and see how it performs without getting into tinkering and fiddling too much with the individual parameters. That will be the best way of finding what works best for you. In the comments below, if you have any solutions that you have found that really work for you to help improve and maximizing the performance of your hardware, please let us know in the comments below. I know it would be appreciated by those who are looking for solutions. One setting doesn't work for every game. So high may work in one game. You may have to go medium in another. It's a lot of optimization and other things that revolve around how well a game may work. And the third and final consideration when moving from console to PC gaming, the launchers. Herein lies the issue. Now, I will give credit to whom credit is due. Xbox, despite price hikes and whatever else is going on with them, and it doesn't work on Linux, I've tried, but the Xbox launcher is very intelligent. It will look on your hard drive and find games from any other storefront. So Epic, GOG, Steam, it will just automatically add it to your library there. Steam, you can add stuff manually. It seems predominantly most people buy from Steam, and they are the largest provider of games on PC. Xbox is doing a great job. I like the Steam launcher. I like the Xbox launcher. Not so much of visually so much of a fan of some of the others. Or any Ubisoft title, you could buy it through Steam, but when you launch it through Steam, it still launches the Ubisoft client, which is really weird. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I just wish there was one universal, like truly universal launcher. But nobody wants to do that because they want to all vie for your time and your dollars, get you in their store so that you'll buy from them. So, that's probably never going to happen ultimately, but who knows? I know Xbox has done a great job with the integration of theirs. I just wish you didn't have all these extra launchers bouncing. So even if you have a Steam game in Xbox and you launch it, Steam client has to launch in the background to get the game running. So from a console perspective, and that's where we're coming from a console perspective, it can be confusing as to what's really happening when you're launching some of these games and when you're trying to resolve issues. Or I've had games that wouldn't launch properly and I had to try to figure out what was going on. And I'm well versed at it, so it's not as much of an issue. But someone who may be new to PC gaming, it can be a daunting task. So it's one of the things that is a hurdle or a complication that I feel like I wish they could simplify in future releases of a universal launcher, how it needs to happen, and everybody kind of work together to provide one viable solution. May not ever happen, but it's nice to wish. If you have encountered any other issues, please share in the comments below the things that you've had trouble with since you've made that transition from console to PC. I want to thank you all again for watching. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Peace.